How's it going, everybody, and welcome back. Me and the Dodge made it through Power Tour 2024 pretty much unscathed, so I figured as a Power Tour noob, someone that's never been on Power Tour, I would just go over, what my expectations were, what the reality was, what other people thought, because I did go with my cousin, Atomic Hillbilly Garage, and my friend Hot Rod Jay, who helped me build the truck. So I did get some video, not a ton, because it was chaotic there, and most of you guys don't really like just watching car show videos of just all the cars. So that's what I'm going to go over, is like, as somebody that's never been, did I like it, whatever, how'd the truck do, stuff like that, and I'll show you all the videos that I got, and then the dyno results from putting this thing on one of the Muletown mobile dynos that were there, or the Muletown mobile dyno. So that was pretty fun. Anyway, let's get to it. All right, for the most part, I still haven't finished unpacking from the trip. The truck did great. So I averaged about 12, well, I won't say I averaged. The best fuel mileage that I got was 12.5 miles per gallon. I don't even know. I think I reset my odometer a bunch to, check the mileage. But yeah, I got about 12 miles per gallon in this 360. I think Hot Rod J did the actual mileage, like how far it was. And I think, I don't know, like 1,800 miles or 1,600 or something like that. I'm not really even sure, but quite a bit in gas. I think the lowest price that I found gas for was like $4.20 for premium, something like that, $4.15, right in there. So you can kind of do the rough math. It was a lot. And this is how I left, and this is how I came back. The only thing I did was turn the air filter around because it got a little bit dirty on one side, just from driving down the roads and whatnot. That is all the maintenance that I did. It didn't use any oil, didn't go through any trans fluid, nothing. So it was solid. But there is one massive problem that almost drove me off the road, or potentially could have killed me. It should be pretty apparent. So if you followed the channel in this truck at all, you'll know that I did all the ball joints and tie rod ends on the truck, and I had it aligned at a shop near here. It's actually a pretty well-known, dealer, and this wasn't really a thing until afterwards. The truck always drove nice and straight. I didn't have any problem steering, no weird noises, no nothing. So I did all of the work, the ball joints and everything, and then all of a sudden there was just a ton of slop in the steering wheel. Now this isn't an exaggeration. This is about how much there is before the tires start to actually move. So I'm not exaggerating how much movement there is in this actual steering wheel. So that's what I fought the entire time. I thought that maybe the steering box was just a little bit worn, and then the tight ball joints would, you'd correct, and then they would kind of stick and not return, because I've had that happen before with move ball joints and stuff where they'd be really tight and you had to kind of fight it for a while until it all wore in. Well, no. Hot Rod J caught that on the last day of Power Tour, and, well, if that breaks, you're going right off the road or right into somebody. So it was pretty scary, and I left early on the 5th day, got my plaque and whatnot, but I rolled out with Jay so I could get here just in case something bad were to happen. I had, a support system, because Jay was driving his 72 Dart. Also, if he had a problem, then I would be there. So, executive decision to drive the truck home. Well, this might give you an idea of how the last few days have been. Ever since I got back from Power Tour, I've just been nonstop working around the house. But I did manage to get the center link and the idler arm, but the pitman arm, dealer-only item. So I had to contact the Chrysler dealer to get the pitman arm. Is $165 for that. No one else makes one. Most places don't even have a listing for it. Even not even Rock Auto. You can't even get one on Rock Auto. PST, however, does make a fast ratio arm and idler arm, but it's like almost $300 for that. And while this thing does steer like a battleship, it's like freaking 4-hole rotations to get the thing to turn. I'm not interested in spending $300 to make it turn one rotation less. It's just not worth it. But beyond that, I had my toolbox completely loaded down. There's tools everywhere, all over. I got to put them all back. The truck did amazing. It was loud inside, but some of that might be just how my exhaust dumps out. It's basically right under the cab, about, 12 inches of extension, and then they just dump out to the side. But everything is good. No new leaks other than the transmission, which never stops. Thanks, transmission guy, whatever. You guys can let me know what you think about this, just on the side note of the Dodge, because, I'm running around 3,000 RPM just to keep up with traffic, and I'm not even meaning like keeping up with traffic like the majority of the traffic, because at 85 miles an hour, I was getting blown off the roads by semis with a full load, like big, huge industrial heavy steel equipment on the back of it, and they're flying at like 95 miles an hour. Realistically, this truck feels happy-ish around 65, 70. That's about its ideal situation, the 727 and all of that stuff, and this truck was built in an era where 55 was pretty much the standard. So they feel pretty comfortable in that area. I could push it up to 70, 75, and it's doing okay. But beyond that, it just doesn't really like it. It'll do it. You get into that zone where it's just the vibe that you get. It'll go super fast. Like it redlines at like $6,000, but it just doesn't seem like it likes being there. With that being said, I got this Magnum 6-cylinder, 3.9, I think is what they are, and an NV 3500 5-speed. So I've been wanting to do a manual conversion on this truck for quite a while. That was actually the entire whole, idea behind this truck, was a 4-speed. But 4-speeds are fun in town. They're not the best for highway cruising. So if I do want to do power tour again or want to do any, long-term cruising, I would like to have a 5-speed to bring the fuel mileage closer to acceptable, to lower the RPM, to save my ears from it being so loud. I could change the exhaust, but it's still a loud truck. So and all the wind noise through the cab and everything, I would like the RPMs to be more in the 2,400 RPM range. Well, my phone keeps shutting off for some reason. It stops recording and then restarts. So I'm getting lost in the video, but bear with me. This NV 3500 is a good transmission. I think it's just a little bit light duty. The only thing that I could really change would be to go to like the NV 4500, which is the big brother, and I think that will hold all the torque, but I'm not sure if it's got like granny gears or, how the spread is, if it's going to be a fun transmission in the truck or not, but this truck is definitely over the limit for what this transmission is supposed to be able to take on paper. So on the dyno, which I'll show you a clip of, this made 287 horsepower at the rear wheels and like 397 foot-pounds of torque. Something like that, which is pretty awesome for the combination that it is. It's a mild-built 360. It's got, just the worst combination for performance. It's got big 30-inch tires, a 323 rear gear, and a 727. So tons of drivetrain loss with that combo, but, it's fun to drive, and that's what's most important. I don't race it, whatever, so it's good enough for me, but if I can get the RPMs down, I think that, the future will be, just a lot more fun. But I can't be blowing up transmissions, all the time, and this combination kind of sucks on the highway. Alrighty, so the big question, was Power Tour worth it? Did I have fun? Should you go? Would I go again? All of that stuff. Why did my cousin leave? All of that different stuff. There's fine print to all of this stuff. One, yeah, I think you should go. Everybody should go at least once. Would I go again? I would, because I think it would be a better experience the second time around after you've made friends and you get a feel for it. But I don't know if I'd go again. One, it's super expensive. Two, it's awfully difficult for me to dump this whole place and all of the cats and animals and stuff on my dad for over a week. That's a hardship which I don't really want to dump on him. I don't know. Maybe I'll get an opportunity to go again. I really don't know. But I had fun while I went, and I got a plaque, I got the sticker, I got to say that I went, and met some people. That was really cool. Thanks to Half-Wit Labs for taking us under their wing and kind of showing us the ropes and all of that. So they kind of, tuned us into what we should really be focusing on instead of, what we were focusing on. So, the problem is, I think that we didn't take the posted route. We did kind of lone wolfed it. That's why my cousin kind of rolled out too, is, we weren't following the pack. So, we didn't get a chance to meet people. We didn't really get a chance to hang out. So if you went with the route with the people and just the big, cruise, then if somebody broke down, you have an opportunity to maybe help them out. Maybe you've got that one part with you that they need to fix their car. Or maybe you just have the expertise to fix it or something like that. So I think staying with the route is important. We didn't even think about it like that. We were just like, oh, that's just going to be a lot more traffic, so we won't. And I think that was the wrong move. But it is what it is. Maybe if you were in your own little group of people and you rolled out and you did your own thing, that's cool, but we weren't. So if I did it again, I would stay on the route. And then I wouldn't have focused so much on the midway and whatever. I would have just hung out in the parking lot and just visited with people, hung around the dyno and stuff, because it should have been a tip-off that everybody brought canopies and tents and awnings and coolers and scooters and all this different stuff to make their experience in the parking lot and then the car parking area just a better, just chill out experience. But, I didn't know any of that. So I was just hanging around the midway, just watching, the cars milling around and whatever. And that's why my cousin left, because he was expecting Power Tour to basically provide like various different days worth of activities and attractions and spectacles and all this different stuff every day to keep people's focus. Now, that's not really the way it goes. Once you see the vendors and stuff, that's basically all that is. All the cars are the same that, are there and whatever. Once you talk to everybody, that's it. I think if Power Tour actually added a swap meet to just even 3 of the days there in some, back end of the parking lot, it would have been huge just to have a swap meet there, because we're going through 5 cities in 5 days. So if the locals had an opportunity to set up like a little thing there, imagine all of the, parts and stuff that people could stumble across that they normally wouldn't have access to. So I think it would be a good idea if they added a swap meet to just a few of the days. All of the days would be ideal, in my opinion, but, a few of the days I think would be great. There was enough room, at least from my vantage point, there was enough room for, a swap meet there. So I think that would have been cool. So stay with the group, hang out, make friends, drive. And, we stayed super far away because I didn't have a choice. My hotels were like 35 miles away from, the Power Tour events. That was kind of a bummer because I saw a lot of the pictures from people that was, everybody was hanging out in front of their hotels and they were just like doing burnouts and having fun and cooking out and doing all this fun stuff. We missed all of that. So I think that, it built. Power Tour is good the first year. You make friends. It gets better the next year, better and better and better and all that stuff. So that's just my opinion. Feel free to correct me in the comments if I'm wrong about the entire thing or what your experiences are, or if you have pro tips for people or your secret sauce, whatever it is. Feel free to leave comments down below because, I don't really know. I'm just giving you my opinion based on my limited experience of one time. But I did have fun. Maybe I'll get to go again. Who knows? Other than that, I'll show you some of the clips that I got from Power Tour. There's not a ton of them, but maybe you'll like them. Let me know what you think in the comments, and thanks a lot for watching. All right, day 3 of Power Tour. There's the mobile dyno over there. I might take my truck to it later. I don't know. We'll see what it's like. It's just a big park. It's pretty hot today. Just asphalt, but mostly we're looking at a big car show. There aren't any. That dyno is the only event at this entire facility here today. It's mostly just the same cars up at the vendor booths and the same, selling t-shirts and all of that different stuff. Same sweet Dodge right there, Lucy. But yeah, today there really isn't anything going on. It's just mostly that dyno. There's I thought it was a Charger down there, but yeah, so I don't know how much there'll be to see other than just regular old car show stuff. There's really nothing going on up there. It's just all the booths, painless wiring, Optima battery, like Tremec, all of them. It's the same as it was every other day. In fact, today is way less. So it's just a car show. Everybody's just chilling out. I got to find Half-Wit Labs and say hey to them. And I think we're gonna take my truck and put it on the dyno and see what happens. So we're gonna head over that way. Hot Rod Jay got a new hat. We're entered to win some Continental tires. Got 10% off at Summit. So looking pretty good. A lot of cool cars here. So a lot of really sweet rides. And then there's just cool stuff, man. You know, like everything you can think of is around here. So I wasn't sure what to expect at Hot Rod Power Tour, but it's just one giant car show and cruise. So, anyway, catch up with you in a bit. 72 440 Charger. I had one once, it was black. And then my 71 was lime green like that shirt with a 440. Same power bulge hood, all the stuff. Different wheels, but sweet ride. I always like these cars. How you doing? Oh, it's all good. Here's an international for you, Jay.
Yeah, I see that. Malibu, Camaro, International, Charger, Watch Blue, mine's all together.
They're what?
They're all together.
Oh, really? I think it is. It's a. What is this thing?
The car you found.
I thought it was an Opal. But... Huh. Must be a kit car. A little V-dub in it. It's not though. That isn't. Is that a supercharger?
Yeah.
That's a supercharger on it. Oh yeah, little mini supercharger.
Sure is. Yeah, I remember that
Bug pack. So yeah, it is a little VW. I don't know what that is, honestly. The Farfignugan X100. It's a cool little car. Well, here we are, day 4 on Power Tour. Just cruising along. Making a lot of traffic. Construction plus Cincinnati. But everything's going good. Everything's alright, just slow. So we'll get in 2 hours and 7 minutes. I think we'll be alright. So it's a lot of driving. This is one of the longer stretches today. Yeah, there's 75 north of Dayton, so I guess if I stayed right on this, I'd end up back in Detroit, and we don't want that. So we're just gonna keep on cruising. Hopefully we can get the truck on the dyno today. I don't know. It was crazy yesterday. Again, I haven't really filmed a ton of stuff because essentially it's a car show, and those generally don't get a ton of views. So I don't know. I don't want to bore you guys with that. So anyway, once we get there, we'll see what it's like. At every one of the events, it's the same cars. It's the same, people for the most part. But I did learn that, I originally thought that the Power Tour was about the, all of the events, all the stuff inside. But I didn't know. I've never been here before, done Power Tour, but the parking lot and the people that you meet, that's really the entire thing. So if I come next year, I've met some cool people. So if they show up again next year, at least I'll have, some people that I know. And yeah, so just chill out in the parking lot and just hang out. So I just didn't know what I was getting into. I didn't really prepare correctly for it because I just got tons of stuff everywhere and I didn't need a lot of it. So anyway, I learned a couple good things. And now I know what to do for next year. Fix a few things on the truck. It needs to have the steering box tightened up a little bit or something. But other than that, everything's going pretty good. So I'll catch up with you soon. 790 pound-feet of torque.